You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, deadly tornadoes ripped through Arkansas, causing the death of at least 5 people.
And the city of Webb City hosts an Easter egg hunt at King Jack Park.
And we've got ourselves a mild and breezy day today. However, we're tracking threat for some severe weather as we head into our Tuesday. We'll take a look at all of that coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. A vacant house in Joplin goes up in flames for a second time. Just before 6:45 Sunday night, reports of flames visible from a residence at 1309 South Jackson alerted Joplin Emergency 911. Authorities say no one was located inside the structure. This is the second time in the last couple of months that this particular home has burned. For more on this fire or for the first fire at the residence, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, 2-vehicle crash in Greene County over the weekend takes a life. The crash occurred Saturday night just after 10 on Route H near Farm Road, 6 miles north of Springfield. Authorities say a 2006 GMC Sierra and a 2011 Ford Edge struck each other head on. The driver of the Ford Edge, John Smith of Pleasant Hope, Missouri, was pronounced deceased at Mercy Hospital. Deadly tornadoes caused extensive damage in Arkansas, where at least 5 deaths have been reported. Stunning images show dozens of homes devastated. Will Nunley has more.
Among the many buildings, the homes destroyed here in the heart of Wynne is this, the First United Methodist Church. There was nobody inside, we're told, as the tornado rolled through, but the damage to this structure is significant. This was a church that was built in the 60s, the pastor tells me. Very well built building, all of the windows blown out. You can see that X there, that spray painted X. That's where emergency officials came through to make sure that nobody was inside. But there's plenty of damage, even though the walls are still standing. You have hallways here that have been flooded, not only from rain that was coming in from damage from the roof, but also burst pipes within the building. So you can see how most of this is going to end up being just a total loss for this church. Inside, look at the violence that was on display. See all this glass? Can you imagine being, even if you were sheltered in a room like this, the glass that comes flying around in situations like this from that vortex just spinning around you? Wow, incredible. I spoke with the pastor. He says he's thankful that most of his congregation is okay, and right now, that's what they're focused on.
So our church was right in the middle of the storm. It took a direct hit, and it tore the steeple off in the front porch area. Columns are gone. We don't know where the columns are. We haven't found them in town yet. We've got some pictures that have been found as far away as Humboldt, Tennessee, coming to us on Facebook. But it looks like all of our buildings are probably going to be a total loss just because of the way that the structures were hit.
And even though it appears that this building is still standing and fared pretty well, keep in mind there is considerable structural damage to the brick outside. The columns are missing. In most places, the roof is missing. The steeple is missing, and the homes around it reduced to their foundations. The pastor says with Palm Sunday being upon the congregation, they're trying to decide if they meet on the front lawn or if they go to a nearby church. In Wynne, Arkansas, Will Nunley, Fox Weather.
Well, of course, we missed out on the majority of that severe weather outbreak last week. However, we're tracking severe storms of our own for this week. We have an elevated risk for the majority of the area as we head into our Tuesday, and that enhanced risk, again, clipping our southeastern corner of our viewing area. There are 2 possible rounds of severe thunderstorms as we head into our Tuesday. Now, the first is expected between 2 and 5 p.m. While the confidence isn't super high on this, there's still the possibility we could see scattered storms. These could very quickly become supercells, which means all severe weather hazards would be possible, and they'd kind of hang out through the area between about, again, 2 and 5. The higher confidence is with a squall line developing out to our west and rolling in very quickly late Tuesday into early Wednesday between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. This would have all severe hazards possible as well, but the greatest risk with the squall line would be strong damaging winds and large hail. And that's part of that cold front. Once it rolls through, it makes it considerably cooler across the area. MoDOT and KDOT cameras looking good so far. Mostly cloudy skies. You see those clouds racing. We're at 60 in Joplin, south breeze at 14. Wind gusts later today, 20, 30 miles an hour are going to be common. We're at 55 Iola, Fort Scott, 59 Pittsburgh, 60 Chetopa, 61 Miami, and 58 in Neosho. We get our day started. Again, winds pick up 20, 30 miles an hour. Partly cloudy skies near 70 by late morning. And as we head into our afternoon, about 20 degrees above average, breezy, clearing skies until we are mostly clear and highs in the lower 80s. We'll talk more about those storm chances and take a look at the extended forecast here in just a few minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, coffee and paint lovers gathered at the Root Coffee House. Creative Canvas hosted a paint and sip event. The event gave artists the opportunity to paint in the aroma of coffee with a cozy atmosphere. The local artists were provided with supplies and step-by-step instruction with an experienced painter.
Take where they currently are and hopefully teach them something new. It lets people come out into the community and local businesses to support the local business at the same time as painting. I think the last couple of years we've been pretty nervous and staying in on our own, so that's just a really nice way for people to be able to come together and hang out for a little while and get their creative juices flowing.
The event was $30 per painter and lasted 3 hours. Webb City held its annual Easter egg hunt at King Jack Park. The hunt was an opportunity for kids of all ages to come and look for eggs and have a chance to receive full Easter baskets. And some of the eggs included movie tickets, Texas Roadhouse gift cards, and ice cream gift cards. The Easter egg hunt was free to the public.
Kind of have their eye on the prize that they are searching. We do put quite a few eggs out for each hunt, but and then be kind, share, you know, if an egg falls out, put it back in your friend's basket if it falls out, things like that. It's all about good fun and kindness and sense of community.
Easter egg hunt was free to the public. Well, coming up, our good friend Kavanaugh Studevin stops by our studio to tell us all about a few upcoming events in the city of Carl Junction.
And later, a mystery man decides to scale a Miami drawbridge, and it was all caught on camera. Only Jeannie Moose can bring us this tall tale. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look outside the Wilbur Weeks house. Here's a fun fact about this house. It was owned by 2 people as well. One of them, Frederick Wilbur, who was a clerk for the Powder Company. In Health Watch this morning, we are learning more information about a recent study linking a common artificial sweetener to increased risk of heart disease and stroke. Krista Mayo takes a look at what's causing the health concerns and why a growing number of people could be at risk in the future.
You may want to double-check the ingredients list on your favorite foods and drinks. A new study published in the journal Nature Medicine says a common sugar substitute called erythritol is linked to an increased risk of cardiovascular diseases.
Erythritol is what's known as a sugar alcohol. It tastes sweet to us, but our bodies can't break it down.
Researchers examined the blood samples of more than 4,000 people considered at risk for heart disease and stroke. They found
people who had elevated levels of this chemical, erythritol, had an increased risk for those negative outcomes. So higher levels of erythritol predicted an increased chance of experiencing a heart attack or a stroke in the future.
People with diabetes and other risk factors for heart disease were twice as likely to suffer a heart attack or stroke if their blood had the highest levels of erythritol compared to those with the lowest levels in the study. Low levels of erythritol are naturally present in some fruits and vegetables. It's also produced in our bodies because of our metabolism. But health officials say a growing number of people could have higher levels in their blood because of how our foods are being made.
We have erythritol in many more food products. So now we have people who might not have been at risk, but whose bodies are now being exposed to higher levels because they're getting it from their diet.
Erythritol is used to make things sweet without the extra calories, and many natural stevia and monk fruit products have high contents.
Well, we've got ourselves the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms as we head into our Tuesday. Let's take a quick look at that. Well, there's a stray chance of a storm or two today, but I think the majority of us are going to remain dry. It is tomorrow. We've got this elevated risk for majority of the area and an enhanced risk clipping our southeastern corner of our viewing area. We've been talking about Tuesday since before our severe weather event last week and that significant outbreak that occurred to our east. We still are watching Tuesday, and it's looking likely that there are 2 rounds of severe storms that are going to unfold. Between roughly 2 and 5 p.m. tomorrow, we're looking at the possibility of some scattered storms. These could become supercells. The environment will be primed for that with all severe hazards possible. There's lower confidence in the exact formation and timing of this potential afternoon development of severe weather, but it is something we want to keep a close eye on. One thing that seems to have some higher confidence, at least right now, is the development of a squall line out to our west late Tuesday night. So between roughly 11 and 4 a.m. on Wednesday, 11 p.m. on Tuesday, 4 a.m. Wednesday, we're looking at the possibility of this squall line rolling through the area. Now, all severe hazards could be possible with this, but the biggest threat would be strong damaging wind gusts and large hail, so something that we are keeping a very close eye on. MoDOT camera, I-44 and range line looks good. Same with the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 south of Pittsburgh. Clouds racing by 60 in Joplin, south breeze at 14, but those wind gusts are going to start to pick up. We're looking at 55 Iola, Fort Scott, 60 Chitopa, 61 Miami, and 58 in Neosho. So we get our morning started, wind gusts of 20 to 30 miles an hour likely. We're looking at partly cloudy skies near 70 by 11. And as we head into the afternoon, temperatures into the lower 80s, clearing skies and remaining breezy. We'll be back with more right after this, but first, here's a live look inside the Wilbur Weeks house. And a fun fact about this particular house, in 1917, a library and second story master suite were added to the house by the home's second owners.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Joining us in studio, our good friend Kavanaugh Studevin from the Carl Junction Chamber of Commerce, and we've got a lot to talk about this morning.
Yeah, it's busy season. Yeah. You know, the weather gets nicer, communities start doing a lot of things, so obviously we've got a lot to talk about, all happening really, honestly, like the same week. Basically.
That's crazy. Well, the first one's coming up on April 18th.
Yes.
It is a regional event. Tell me about this.
Yeah, so it is a regional nonprofit job fair and a showcase. So, you know, we hear about job fairs, everyone is hiring, but one particular category we want to talk about is our nonprofit organizations. Right. And we have over 20 joining us on Tuesday, April 18th from 9 to 5. And we will be at the Route 66 Event Center in downtown Webb City. So, you know, when we're thinking about looking for a job, you know, when you've got a heart to serve, for example, Economic Security will be there. And so they are hiring a ton of positions. They will be interviewing on site for like Head Start, teaching positions, weatherization. We have Ronald McDonald House that's coming, Children's Center, Children's Haven, City of Joplin. So it's a wide variety of job opportunities in the nonprofit world.
And you mentioned there's a couple from Carl Junction as well.
Yeah, we've got a couple of nonprofits in Carl Junction that will be talking about their nonprofit organization, some positions, some volunteer positions. So it's a showcase of our nonprofits, but most importantly, a job fair. So when you're looking for a job, if you want to serve your community, there's no better way to do it than getting a job at a nonprofit.
And coming up later that week,
yes,
we've got the spring Carl Junction garage sale,
which is a big time. It is garage sale season. So in Carl Junction on Saturday, April 22nd, all day, we have our garage sales. So carljunctioncc.com is where you want to go for the interactive map. If you are a resident, you can list your garage sale. Mm-hmm. They're a lot of fun, and it brings a ton of people to a community.
And when we say all day, we mean really early start
really
time.
All day. And also a lot of our garage sales will also open up on the 21st on Friday. So it will be noted in the map. So if you're looking for a really great deal or you just want to get out, I know for me, it was a family thing, getting up early, getting some breakfast. We have some great spots like Bailey's Family Dining in Briarbrook that is open for breakfast. You can get coffee. And then on top of it, we have a lot of organizations that will be open, like our cultivators. So they're going to be selling plants. Their annual plant sale is on Pennell in Memorial Park. So you can grab some indoor plants. I know Jane told me they've got succulents this year. The community center is going to be open. A group is going to be selling some breakfast and lunch. You can support an organization. So a lot happening in Carl Junction on that weekend.
Perfect. All right. It sounds like it's going to be a blast. We've got on the 18th is the job fair.
Yes.
At the Route 66 Center in Webb City. And then on the 22nd, and some of them the night before, the garage sale in Carl Junction.
You got it. And everything is on our website and on our Facebook page as well.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We will be right back.
A mystery man scaled the Miami drawbridge earlier this week, drawing gasps from eyewitnesses.
He also drew the attention of a nearby resident who caught it all on video. And of course, Jeannie Moose reports.
Climbing a drawbridge to draw attention to himself, a mystery man clung to the metal grid as ships and boats passed by Miami's Brickell Bridge in the upright position.
What the is wrong with this dude?
Derek Newball shot this video from his rooftop as the climber reached the top.
And I go like, this can't be real. It has to be insane.
As he inched his way back down, some viewers freaked. I am having a panic attack watching this. My palms are literally sweating.
There was a boat passing by and they started clapping.
Police warn the hot Miami sun makes stunts like this even more dangerous by heating up the steel and concrete surface. When he was halfway down, the bridge began to come down and his arm went up in a fist pump. And when he started waving, it was as if he were conducting the horn section. When the bridge was level enough, the climber stood upright and ran. By the time police arrived, he was gone. At the exact moment Derek stopped recording, the climber briefly got down on the ground.
He did like a push-up and just vanished.
This isn't Manhattan's 59th Street Bridge that Simon and Garfunkel sang about, but the Brickell Bridge climber did seem to be feeling groovy. Groovy enough to take a bow. Jeannie Moose, CNN.
All is groovy.
New.
Okay. I'm not going to do that anytime soon.
Well, he picked a time to scale the bridge when there was no one on it. We'll leave it at that.
There shouldn't be anybody on it if it's in the upright position. If there's
Exactly.
cars driving on it while it's going up, we have a different story that
My
we'll have
question
to tell
is, why
you.
did it take so long for police? He was able to
I
get
know,
down.
the bridge was up for a
before
while,
the
and it
police
takes a
even
while to go
arrived.
back down.
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but it's all right. They're busy. They're very
Yeah.
busy down there. We'll be right back, but first, here's a live look inside the Wilbur Weeks house. Another fun fact for you. The Craftsman-style wooden front door with side lights is not an original, but is an exacting reproduction.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:27. Well, Higher Power Garage holds a teen auto maintenance class over the weekend. The local garage teaches teens how to properly maintain their vehicles and why it's important to do so. Teenagers also have the opportunity to learn how to change a tire and what to do in an emergency situation.
We've been here 3 years now, and we found in that 3 years that a lot of the cars we're seeing are really lacking in the maintenance. And so we got looking into that, and we've seen where a lot of our clients were single-parent families.
The garage hosts the event once a month. On Sunday, the J.L. Hutch Baseball League took to the field for a baseball skills day for local kids at Pittsburgh Middle School. Little leaguers who attended the school skills day learned baseball fundamentals from the coaching staff. The league aims to develop baseball skills as well as sportsmanship, competitiveness, and fair play.
They all come back and want to play next year. The best thing that I can hear out in our community is when people see me or some of the other coaches is when they say, you know, little Jimmy had so much fun last year, he cannot wait to play baseball the next year. And that's what we try to do with all of our coaches, and we try to get that into all of the kids, that they're just having so much fun.
Opening day for the league will be April 29th. Women from around the 4 states hit the lanes to compete in the 17th annual MOUSBC Women's Tournament at Carl Richards 4th Street Bowl. Nearly 300 teams competed in this year's tournament. 4th Street Bowl also hosted the doubles and singles competition for this year's tourney.
I like to think of this tournament, because we don't have a lot of really high average bowlers that bowl in it, as a place to come for a weekend and just have a good time.
Tournament play wrapped up on Sunday.
We are watching the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms as we head into our Tuesday. We've got this elevated risk for the counties in yellow, which is a good chunk of the area, and then enhanced risk clipping the southeastern part of our viewing area as well. Right now, it looks like there are 2 possible severe weather events that could take place tomorrow. And of course, as we get closer, we'll be able to hammer this down more for you. The first round is potentially between roughly 2 and 5 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, where we could see the development of some scattered thunderstorms. These thunderstorms will be in an environment that could allow them to grow upscale into supercells with all severe weather hazards possible. Now, right now, the possibility of the development of the supercells is very conditional. So the exact thoughts on this is not that high. The confidence isn't that high. What we're more confident about is a squall line developing out to our west late Tuesday night, rolling into the area overnight into early Wednesday morning between 11 p.m. Tuesday and 4 a.m. on Wednesday. This squall line would have all severe weather hazards possible as well, but the biggest threat from this would be strong damaging winds and large hail. So we're more confident right now about this squall line developing, but that doesn't mean we couldn't see some strong to severe thunderstorms in that 2 to 5 p.m. slot tomorrow. MoDOT camera, I-44 and range line looks good. Same from the KDOT camera just south of Pittsburgh. We've got the clouds racing on by. Wind is south at 14 right now. We're 60 in Joplin under mostly cloudy skies. Across the region, 55 in Iola, or 56 in Iola, 55 Fort Scott, 61 Miami, 58 in Neosho. As we get our day started, we'll start to see wind gusts 20 to 30 miles an hour. Temperatures near 70 by late morning. And then we'll start to see clearing skies this afternoon, warming well above average into the lower 80s and remaining breezy. We'll have another check of that forecast and your extended forecast here in a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, well, at least 32 people are dead as brutal storms move across the U.S. President Joe Biden is pledging help from the federal government, while forecasters are warning the severe weather is not over yet. Amy Kiley has the latest.
Dangerous weather continues moving across the U.S., leaving behind a trail of destruction and death. This video shows hail falling near Dallas. Today, that storm system pushing through Louisiana.
This is just an unbelievably tragic moment for our state.
At least 5 people are dead after a twister hit Arkansas over the weekend.
We have activated the National Guard in the hardest hit areas of the state.
Just across the state line, Tennessee reports at least 15 deaths, with 1 in Alabama and another in Mississippi. The weather isn't sparing the north either.
3 individuals have lost their lives in the tornadoes that came through Crawford County.
Illinois communities are reeling from tornadoes. At least 5 people are dead due to severe weather in Indiana, with another fatality in Delaware. Now, a snowstorm is moving across northern states, and it could bring a spring blizzard to South Dakota.
If anybody has learned a lesson, it is that when those alerts come in, we need to take them seriously.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Well, according to the Weather Channel, a potent storm that's tracking across the west right now will move into the central states by Tuesday. Severe thunderstorms are most likely from parts of Iowa and Illinois southward to portions of Missouri, Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, and northeast Texas. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. We've got Chris Hicks and Aaron Schumann in studio telling us all about a play date and program called Mornings with Mommy. We'll have the details.
Plus, we're tracking a very warm day for us today and breezy with thunderstorm chances for our Tuesday. Take a look at that forecast as well. But first, we're going to take a live look inside the Wilbur Weeks house. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Joining us in studio this morning, we have Chris Hicks and Aaron Schumann here to tell us about a couple of things going on at your church. First of all, let's welcome you guys from the Faith Lutheran Church.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Now, for about a year and a half, you told me you guys have been doing this Mommy and Me program.
Yes, yes. What it is it's a 1-hour educational play night. So we start out with music and story time, and then we have all different type of centers. So we will have sensory, where they can jump in and get their hands full of shaving cream, rice. We have movement, arts and crafts, and puzzles, educational toys. So everything is set up. The moms, dads, whatever caregivers can come in.
Well, it's called Mommy and Me. It's not just restricted to the mommies.
No,
Yes.
it's not. We have daddies, we have grandmas, and so it's a great way for caregivers, moms, to network with other moms, and the children. They learn very early on socialization, and they have just a wonderful time.
And from what I understand is each session has a different theme.
Yes.
And where can people find out like the list of these themes and when the dates are?
Sure. So what they can do is they can go on to our website at faithlutheran.com, and we have the registration and also each theme, or they can simply drop in. They don't have to pre-register.
And is there a cost to attend?
No, it is absolutely free.
So you do it the first and third
And-
Wednesdays, that's correct? Or
Yes.
Tuesday night, the Tuesday evening
night.
session, and then a Wednesday morning session?
Yep, Tuesday night we have our session from 6 p.m. to 7, and Wednesday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
And you guys have another big event coming up this weekend. Of course, it's Easter weekend. Why don't you tell us all about that, Aaron?
Yes, so this Saturday we would like to invite the entire community out to our church grounds. We are located a quarter-mile north of Pickler's Chicken Annie's on Langdon Lane, and we'd like to invite the entire community out to come and enjoy free pancakes beginning at 9:30. The people from church make wonderful pancakes. They got all the toppings, and we would like you to bring your children of any age to come on out to enjoy our also free Easter egg hunt that takes place at 10 o'clock. We have over 10,000 Easter eggs stuffed with candy, all from Hershey's, and so it'll be absolutely fantastic. Every year we have it. We have a ton of kiddos out there, and so we'd like to invite any family from our community out to join us.
So it sounds like an awesome breakfast followed by Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, yep.
He picks the good candy.
Well, that sounds wonderful.
Well, thanks. So
Okay,
it's a great time.
Once again, why don't you tell us the times and where you're located again?
Yes, so 9:30 are the pancakes, which again are free, and then 10 o'clock we have the Easter egg hunt, and we are located, well, at 1233 South 220th Street right here in Pittsburgh, and that is a quarter-mile north of Pickler's Chicken Annie's.
All right, sounds wonderful. Well, thank you two for coming in this
Thank
morning.
you very
Thank
much.
you.
And you can find more information about this on our website. Just go to the morning show link, KOAMnewsnow.com. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We've been talking about Tuesday's severe weather threat, but we also want to talk about today and what happens after Tuesday. We're at 60 in Joplin right now, mostly cloudy, south breeze at 14. Temperatures across the area, 55 in Fort Scott, 61 Chanute and Pittsburgh, as well as Chetopa, Miami, 58 in Neosho, and 59 in Carthage and Lamar. As we get our day started, we're going to have those partly to mostly cloudy skies. Winds will start gusting in that 20 to 30 mile an hour range, as well as with morning progresses with temperatures near 70 by late morning. I hit the wrong button. Let's go forward, not backward. All right, looking at highs today, 20 degrees or so above average as we soar into the lower 80s again today. We remain breezy, but we'll have clearing skies. We'll start to be mostly clear by the afternoon hours. Staying mostly clear through the evening. Winds start to taper off after 6. They'll still be blowing a bit, but not nearly as gusty. Down to 68 by 10 with an overnight low of 61 degrees, which is just absolutely wild. All right, so tomorrow, Couple of rounds of severe thunderstorms possible. We're looking at between 2 and 5 p.m. and then another round with a squall line overnight between 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. on Wednesday. And of course, we'll be continuing to track this. We'll have the latest updates through the day today and into tomorrow ahead of these storms. Regardless, though, another very warm and breezy day. Highs pushing the lower 80s again. Where then the cold front pushes through, and that's when we could see that squall line. And we drop back down to 44. We're in the 50s Wednesday and Thursday, upper 50s, but definitely chillier. 60 by Friday as we head into Saturday and Sunday for our Easter weekend. Looking good. We'll have some cloudy skies, but otherwise mid-60s. So if you're doing some Easter egg hunts, perfect weather to do that. Monday morning could see a few stray thunderstorms out there near 70. That kicks our temperatures down for just a hot minute, back to the lower 60s on Tuesday. We'll see breezy conditions as we head into Wednesday and temperatures returning to near 70 degrees. So since we've got a couple of seconds, I just want to remind you, we are watching that possibility. We've got the elevated risk for the counties in yellow and an enhanced risk clipping our southeastern counties. So we're watching this very closely. And as mentioned, we'll continue to keep you updated here on KOAM and, of course, with the KOAM Skywatch weather app. That is a check of your forecast. Now, here's Tanya Bach with Consumer Watch.
On Consumer Watch this morning, new data shows it's never been as hard to buy a car in the United States as it is today. Even with an improving supply chain, numbers from the Bureau of Labor Statistics say car prices are climbing higher and faster since 2020 than any other point in the last 35 years. This data shows inflation for used cars is getting better in the last few months. Average price of a new car has gone up almost $12,000 in the past 5 years. The average price for a used car is up almost $9,000. Now, the last time car buyers saw these types of price hikes was back in the 1970s and 80s. GM has decided to phase out its widely used Apple CarPlay and Android Auto systems for its future electric vehicles. The current system is popular because it allows drivers to mirror their smartphone screens in a vehicle's dashboard display. The car maker is switching to a built-in infotainment center made by Google. The change will take effect when GM rolls out its 2024 Chevrolet Blazer next year. Well, Southwest Airlines unveils its new action plan to prevent another operational meltdown. As you might remember, last December, when nearly 17,000 flights were canceled and 2 million passengers stranded over the busy holiday season. The plan includes adding more winter equipment and staffing at some airports. Southwest is also planning to invest $1.3 billion in technology updates this year. That funding will go towards finding a quicker restart during extreme weather and improving communications and decision-making across operations. We'll be right back with more after this. Marshmallow peeps are a sure sign of spring.
In Westminster, Maryland, plenty are now on display at the town's 16th annual Peep Show.
Jennifer Franciotti shows us how some artists have turned the treat into art.
We are at the 16th annual Peep Show.
If you've never been, the Peep Show is really something to see. From homemade creations with just one to some that took thousands, here the marshmallow treat is the star of a unique springtime tradition in Westminster.
We have a Star Wars lightsaber duel over here with a few peeps, and then we have the good ship Lolly Peep, made out of thousands of peeps.
In a new location this year next to Boscov's inside the town mall, you'll find 123 entries, and not all of them are sculptures. Laura King is a 5-time Peep Show artist, and this year she came up with...
We have the Orangupeep. He is a compilation of coffee shop peeps and yellow traditional peeps, some thrifted fern. It's our winter activity. We just kind of nestle down in the house and pull everything together and get creative.
It's free to take a peep, not 1 cent to enjoy all of this. It will only cost you if you want to vote for your favorite or buy snacks and peep-inspired, well, just about anything. Not too much of a sticky situation because all proceeds benefit the Carroll County Arts Council.
We do lots and lots of free family programming in our theater. We bring arts events to local schools for free. We give out grants to small arts organizations in Carroll County, and we give college scholarships.
The Peep Show runs every day through April the 10th.
You've certainly got to be in the mood for peeps to be able to eat them because
Not
and
my
they
kids.
have new flavors.
My kids
though.
are like Peeps, you cannot have Easter without Peeps. It's a requirement.
Well, then you should take them to Maryland, where they have this show going on. See if they can eat the artwork.
Yeah, they would probably be disappointed because they wouldn't let them. Or they've been sitting out too long. I don't know.
That's true, too. We don't know what's been done to make them into those shapes either. You never know. They may not be so edible now. Something we're keeping an eye on is our storm threat for tomorrow. So the good news is, as I was talking this morning, as you remember, for today, there was that just an isolated thunderstorm risk. That has been removed. And as I was expecting, because the possibility of a thunderstorm or two today was extremely low. But tomorrow, elevated risk for the counties in yellow and enhanced risk just clipping the southeastern corner of our viewing areas. We're watching. We've been talking about Tuesday for several days now. Now we're getting down to the final hours, and we're going to have more refinements to this forecast between today and into tomorrow afternoon. So here's what is currently expected to take place. We're looking at possibly 2 rounds of storms, one between 2 and 5 p.m. tomorrow, which those could be some supercells, which means they'd be scattered, so not everybody would see a storm, but all severe hazards could be possible with these. There's not as high a confidence in those supercells developing as there is in this squall line between roughly 11 and 4 a.m. So 11 p.m. tomorrow, 4 a.m. Wednesday. We're watching the possibility of a squall line developing out to our west, rolling through the area overnight into early Wednesday morning, and that could again have all severe hazards possible, but the biggest threat with that is going to end up being some large hail and damaging winds. We are cloudy for the most part in Joplin. That's why they call it mostly cloudy. 60 south breeze at 14 across the area. Very mild start. 61 Miami, Pittsburgh, Chetopa, 55 Fort Scott, and 59 in Carthage. As we get our day started, we're going to be partly cloudy. Winds gusting 20-30 miles an hour, near 70 by late morning. Highs well above average, breezy, mostly clear skies, pushing into the lower 80s. As we head into tonight, dropping back down to 61 for our low eventually under mostly clear skies. The winds will let up, but check out how slow we cool. 68 by 10 before we reach that overnight low of 61. We'll be back with more right after this.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. A 2-vehicle crash in Greene County over the weekend takes a life. The crash occurred Saturday night just after 10 on Route H near Farm Road, 6 miles north of Springfield. Authorities say a 2006 GMC Sierra and a 2011 Ford Edge struck each other head-on. The driver of the Ford Edge, John Smith of Pleasant Hope, Missouri, was pronounced deceased at Mercy Hospital. A vacant house in Joplin goes up in flames for a second time. Just before 6:45 Sunday night, reports of flames were visible from a residence at 1309 South Jackson. Alerted Joplin 911. Authorities say no one was located inside the structure. This is the second time in the last couple of months that this particular house has burned. For more on this fire or the first fire at the residence, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. The students at Pitt State helped out the community over the weekend. Pitt State Student Government Association held its annual community cleanup. For the event, students cleaned up more than 50 homes. Cleanup included raking leaves, washing windows, and planting flowers. On Sunday, the JL Hutch Baseball League hosted its Baseball Skills Day for local kids at Pittsburgh Middle School. The Little Leaguers who attended the Skills Day learned baseball fundamentals from the coaching staff. The league aims to develop baseball skills as well as sportsmanship, competitiveness, and fair play.
We got highs well above average, pushing the lower 80s across the area. We're also going to see the winds increase this morning, gusting 20-30 miles an hour. We'll go from these cloudy skies to clear skies later this afternoon. Slow to cool, only 68 by 10 o'clock. Clear skies down to 61 eventually for our overnight low. We're watching the possibility of maybe a couple of rounds of strong to severe thunderstorms tomorrow, so we're going to keep an eye on that. You just keep it right here. We're pushing the lower 80s again tomorrow and breezy conditions. Now, cold front with these storms pushes through, knocks us down to 44 tomorrow night, into the 50s Wednesday, Thursday, 60 by Friday, and then the good news is, at least right now, for Easter weekend, we're looking at some cloudy skies, temperatures in the mid-60s, so perfect weather for doing some Easter egg hunts.
All right. Thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We'll be back with more news and weather at noon.
And we want to thank you again. Have a great morning and an even better day.